Hi, this is Nathan. Welcome back to the channel. Alright, so tonight I thought I'd check out the Flat is Fast stage 5A and 5B and have a go at that. Normally on Thursday nights I'm doing the chop ride here in Australia, but yeah, I thought to, I might mix it up a little bit and try something new. And I've been keen to have a go at these little sort of mini races as such. So we've got one lap of Mech Isle Loop, which is 4Ks, and we've got one lap of Watopia Flat Route, which is 10Ks. So we're about to get into the first one, which is the Mech Isle Loop. And yeah, about to kick this one off. Let's see how we go. Okay, so I wasn't too sure about how to approach this race. It's 4Ks, man. It's like, well, do you try and smash it? Do you sit in? Do you treat it like a longer distance race? I really wasn't sure. So I thought I'd just see how it goes, try and have a bit of fun with it, try and get my bearings pretty quickly, see what the group's like, and try and figure out what everyone else is going to do. And it looks like the group kind of settled pretty quickly. You can see there we've got, I think, a group of 38 in that front group, and then we've got some another group of 15, sorry, not 38, 24, and then another group behind us of about 12 or 15. So it seems to be that I think everyone was sort of thinking the same thing: settle in, and then just get it done and wait for the sprint at the end. So yeah, we've got roughly 15, I think, in this front group. As I said, it's a really short route. Like 4Ks is next to nothing, and again, it's hard. It's how much do you warm up for these things? I've done sort of sprint races in the past, and you kind of go into it and you blow up. Well, I do. I blow up really quickly at the start. So did a bit of a warm up, probably about 8 or 10 Ks. So we're going through the sandy section here, which when I was reading about it isn't sand as such, so it's not gravel. So I don't think gravel bikes work that well in this on this part of the course. I remember reading, I think in Zwift Insider, that the sandy part's reasonably like tarmac. So I end up going with choosing the Tron bike for tonight's race rather than the gravel bike, and you can sort of see a bunch of other Tron bikes there too. So, and it's a bit of a mixture. I can see a couple of gravel bikes there as well. But I was watching Cadman Cycling. He did this as well, but went with the gravel bike. And whilst I think it helped him around the short little climb, he didn't do too well in the sprint at the end. So you can see there we're in Makuri Islands. That's the Mech Isle Loop. 4Ks is the length of the loop. Pretty short, only 40 meters of climbing, so nothing outrageous. And it's in that little loopy 360 degree section just there that is the bulk of that climbing. Now, I didn't see any power-ups. I don't know whether there are any power-ups for this race. I couldn't find anything about it, so I'm assuming there wasn't. All right, so we're just hitting the start of that 360 degree loop. We've got a couple of guys that have hit out from the front here, and I guess I thought, well, I'll just stay in touch with them. I didn't want them to kind of just riding off. I wanted just to stay in touch in case something did happen, that I could put something down and try and bridge across. And you can kind of see now in the top right hand corner there the group's sort of strung out a bit there. But I wasn't too worried. I figured we're going to come back together anyway after this climb. It's so short that you really can't do it's not a solid climb where you can do a breakaway and try and crush the others in the group. We're down to 20 now, and there's a couple of stragglers about 20 seconds behind. And it's just, yeah, on the front there. If it sounds like I'm eating and drinking, it's because I am. Sorry about that. It is 20 to 12, well, 11:39 p.m. here in Melbourne, Australia. Okay, so on the front, we've crested the climb and now it's a downhill. So I think it goes up to -4, -6% down here. So it's actually a little bit deceiving. It doesn't look that steep on paper, but it certainly, you know, yeah, it gave you a little bit of a rest. And you can see now that the group's down to 8 on the front here. We've got another group of 7. What's that, about 6 or 8 seconds behind us? But I think this becomes the front group, and this is the group that's going to the finish. Okay, so we've got 1.4 k's left. I'm starting to think about that finish now. I've got a bit of a strategy in mind, and I've been meaning to try it out on a few other races, and I thought I'll give it a go here. And what I wanted to do was to sprint early, about 700-800 meters, and trigger a bunch of other riders to think, oh, the game's on. Oh, sorry, we've got the rider profile here. That's me. Hi, hello. Level 44, 49, 80 kilos, based in Australia, Cat C. My ranking has slipped a little bit because I have been on holidays. So I'm now 3 hours away, and I'm in the yellow Tron with the Zwift kit and the Mavic shoes. Oh, and don't forget the Afro Dynamics haircut. That's very important. Yeah, so I wanted to put the power down, and I do that just up here, I think. And I wanted to trigger a bunch of riders to go and then have them commit themselves, and I was going to then sit in on them and then sort of use them to get to the finish. And so I kick off, and one of the riders, so a few of the riders panic and they go probably earlier than they wanted to. And so I sit in on this glid hill, but what I didn't see was G Cycles from the Ukraine, G Cycling, come through, and I missed him. I should have jumped on him, and I kind of messed it up a little bit. So now I'm in the mix. We've still got 8 riders there, and I've really got to put the power down now. We've got 300 meters left. Really having to dig deep here. Finish isn't too far away. Really trying to push through. I know that first is off the table now, and I'm trying for second, and I thought I had it, but just, who was it, Luke? The guy in the pink kit there had on the inside lane, and he just got me. So didn't go as well as I hoped, but third is still better than fourth. And yeah, yeah, a bit average. I felt I probably could have done that better. Yeah, so Luke got second. Luke Hattie, well done, Luke. And G Cycling, was that Kiva Sport of Ukraine? So yeah, well done. Yeah, you did well to pick that one up. And then down the list we've got Gledhill, James Winfield, Cooper, Farrow, and I think Andrew Martin. Okay, so that was the first race. Now we're into the second, which is 5B, and this is one lap of Woodtopia flat route. So again, 10 Ks, 62 meters of climbing, hence the name, it's flat as. Yeah, so that's the results for the first race. So yeah, Luke got me there just on the line for second. So well done, Luke. Good work, mate. Alright, so let's get into the second race. So a little bit longer. I felt a little bit more comfortable in this one. And anyone who's raced at all in Zwift would probably know this route inside and out. Now, I've got to say though, looking back at the video here, see how drawn out the rest of the group is. Look, I know we're nothing, super special, but if you want to race and you want to give yourself half a shot, get into the pens reasonably as soon as the event allows. Then you can jump out and do a warm-up, or in this case, as soon as you finish the first race, jump into the pen for the second race, get as far front in the pen as you can, and then when the banner drops, smack it a little bit and get onto that front, because that's going to give you every shot of at least being competitive for the rest of the race. I mean, we're 400 meters into the race, and the pack's already split up, and of course you've got the hangers on that are trying to chase to get back on the front, and they're burning all sorts of matches. Whereas we're sort of settling in, finding our rhythm. So yeah, if you want to do Zwift racing, get in on that front group, stick it as fast as you can. As soon as the banner drops, get on the front. Don't dawdle, don't lag. Otherwise, don't worry about it. And you can see here now we've got a group of 26, 27 on the front, and 8 seconds behind is another group of 24. So, I mean, if they'd pushed a bit harder, we would have had a group of 50. And I was looking at that, watching to see if that group of 23, 24 was actually was increasing or decreasing the gap between us, increasing their speed over us. And they didn't. So I thought, great, well, we're down to 26, 27 in our front group. Awesome. And the other thing is, if you're into Zwift racing, and you can jump on, go and grab Source of Zwift, it's a game changer. So that's going to give you, the stats up in the top left-hand corner. Current average power, watts per kilo, heart rate, and more importantly, draft. Okay, so this route we're in Watopia, which is the original world for Zwift. We're on the flat route, 10.3 kilometers for this race, this route. One lap, so 54 meters of climbing. Mostly it's in the rollers and the yeses, and you'll see that as we come towards the end of the race. Happiness level 1 out of 5, but we do have power-ups. Well, at least I got a power-up. So I don't know, I think there might have been some other ones, I didn't see them. Finding out which power-ups are available for the race, I'm sure that if I probably dug around hard enough, I could probably find it, but it's late in the day here, so hey, there's one power-up. Okay, and of course the other part of Source for Zwift that is just, again, one of the best things is the riders, the athletes, that group on the right hand side that shows you the different groups. The front groups, there's 27, and then there's 12 seconds between us and the next group, which is 12 riders in that group. So you kind of can get a sense of how big the pack is. You can see what kind of power they're putting down, and then get a sense of, are they increasing the top on us, or are they falling off? Do we have to worry about them? And in this case, you'll see that that gap grows as we progress. So we know then we're racing against 25 other riders, and you know where you stand. And again, like every other race that I do, especially individual races like this where I'm not racing in a team, it's sit at the back for as much as you can. You want to maximize that drafting. You want to absolutely minimize every piece of effort that you're putting in. Let everyone else sit on the front. And that's why that drafting, that 120% you can see in the top left-hand corner is so important, because it gives me a sense of how efficient I'm being with the drafting, and therefore how much power am I saving. And you can see that G Cycling as well, who's in the Bumblebee kit just to my right there, with the he's got a brown afro, so he must be younger than me. He's doing the same thing, and you'll watch him throughout the race where he's sitting right at the back. He's conserving as much power as he can. And so keep a lookout for James as well, James Winfield, and Luke Hattie too. Okay, so we're coming out of the tunnel, the water tunnel. I don't know, the sea tunnels. Out of that. And like, it's a little bit of a pinch up there, but nothing outrageous. There's a couple of guys maybe pushing off the front. I think they just probably put too much power in there just to get out of there. Oh, hey, I want to say thank you to Andrew Coates. He bought me a coffee the other day, so that's going towards the goal of getting some custom on the rivet kit printed. So cheers, Andrew. Really appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much. And of course, if anyone else wants to buy me a coffee, that would be awesome. You can check out the link in the description of the video. Buy me a coffee, buy me 2 coffees. Give me a like, a subscribe as well. It all helps. It all just makes doing this and suffering in these races just that little bit easier. Okay, so coming into the boardwalk here, we're going to hang a right just up ahead. This is the only dirt section of this route, so not awesome, but you know, you just got to suffer through it. And the road section starts up again just further up here. Oh man, these meatballs are great. Okay, so we've got just under 6Ks left. Yeah, we've got a group here of 26. And it's all flat. So I'm kind of thinking now, gosh, there's one spot I think that if someone were to make it a big effort, it's that last little climb up before you hit the S's. So I'm mindful of that, but if there's no major breaks there, it's going to be that sort of 600 meter mark as you on that downhill as you come into the boulevard, coming into, is it the boulevard? The sea boulevard? Or the beach boulevard? Coming into Watopia. So the sprint will be on there. And so what I'll be doing there is, as I said, unless there's a break, unless there's a reason to go early, I'll wait until then, and I'm going to sit right as far back as I can without letting the front go too far, and then go from there. Now, of course, at this stage, I don't know that power-ups are available in this race. So I was sort of thinking, okay, it's going to be just a raw hit when we get to the end, but it turns out we do get power-ups, so awesome. All right. Yeah, so you can see that gap now between us and the second group, that group at 12 or 18, is it? Is out to 36 seconds, so no real need to stress about them or worry about whether they're going to close up and catch us. And again, I'm keeping an eye on G Cycling, Luke and James. Just, you know, you want to make sure that anyone that you think can be a threat to the end, just want to keep them in your peripheral and just know where they are. Okay, coming around the bend here, and then we've got these 2 little hairpins. And again, anyone who's raced this, you can do it blindfolded and know where you are. Yeah, so sort of averaging, what are we doing there? Averaging 169. Now that average, I didn't reset my averages before the start of this race, so that includes that rest time we had before, but yeah, we're sort of sitting around that 2.5 watt per kilo sort of mark, which is awesome. I don't know how fast that is. I mean, it's a whole flat as fast thing, but so yeah, I want to try and again stay on the back as much as I can. My draft percentage is sitting around 85%, so that's good on a short, you know, a little sort of, I don't know, what would you call it, a climb, a little false flat. There we go, it's a false flat. And the same with this one too. So you can see no one's making a move. We're 4Ks out now. And again, I was wondering, maybe someone here's got a really good, say 5-minute power average, and they might just go. and just go, okay. And I was thinking of it, if someone went, could we TT this and get 3 or 4 riders going off the front and just TT it for the next, 8 minutes or so. But no one went, and I know that if you go by yourself, it's a recipe for disaster. You think, it's not too long, it's only 3.5 Ks, but I can tell you, out the front by yourself, trying to push, 4.5 watts, 5 watts per kilo for the next, 5 minutes is absolute murder. But you get that through experience too. Can't tell you how many races I've messed up doing that. Okay, so we're coming around. This is the only sprint section in this particular route. So it starts here just under just in the tunnel. And I think it's about a 400 meter sprint if I remember correctly. It goes up around the right. It's deceptively long because of this right hand bend. And then it keeps going and then doesn't end until you turn left onto the bridge. Now I've got a couple, one rider sort of pushing on the front there. Nothing to worry about, I don't think. Yeah, so the sprint section ends here, and I just know that because we've raced it in ZRL, and that's predominantly what I've been doing of late, other than being on holidays, of course, is racing in the ZRL series. So you tend to examine all the sprint section because it's all points based. So you need to know exactly how long these sprint sections are, when they occur, and where the finishes are. Okay, so we did pick up a power up through that banner. I got the aero. I saw about 3 or 4 guys fire their power up straight away. So I went, well, either they think they're going to get another one or they're sort of in pain. And so this is the climb I was talking about, where if someone was to make a move, it'd be here, I would have thought. And so I thought, I'll stomp this a bit, push off and onto the front. And you can see there's 2 riders up off the front there now, besides that guy in the Peppeltron just in front of me. So they're pushed off. I've still got my aero, and I saw G Cycling coming up behind me as well. So I thought, I'm not going to chase those 2 guys. There's no point. I think we'll catch them anyway, even though we've still got just under 2 Ks to go. So I sort of sit with, who's this guy? Is it Andrew? No. James, might be James. So I sit with him, and then the group gets us back. So I wasn't stressed about that. I fully expect that to happen. But those other 2 riders, they've got some distance on the front there, and we've only got about 1.5 Ks left. But they're not increasing the distance, and so I'm thinking, I reckon they'll burn out. I reckon we'll catch them on the sprint into the finish. Okay, so we've got 2 guys there. 6 seconds? 4 seconds at the front. We've got 20 in our group. Excellent. I'm going to use their draft as much as I can. We've got 1.2 Ks to go. I know we have a right-hander up here, and then it's basically downhill towards the banner. And they're only up just ahead, so I think they're 4 seconds now. So they're burning all their matches, and they're not getting any further away from us. So I think we're going to get them. Okay, so here's the right-hander. We'll come in under that little sort of that little tunnel, and that's about the 800 meter mark. Okay, so I notice I'm a bit more forward than I want to be, but I'm also conscious of the fact that we've got a couple of riders off the front there, so I drift back a little bit here, and I'm getting ready to probably go around that 600 meter mark, maybe 500 meters, somewhere around there. So I'm trying to sit back as far as I can and hit the aero now, and that's it, full gas all the way to the finish. So I'm push. I've caught all these guys napping. Alright, my aero's run out, but it's giving me the speed I need. And maybe if I'd fired it a bit later, I could have done better. But so we passed those two guys in the front, and Luke gets me just on the line. So I had first there, and Luke Hattie got me like maybe 0.2 of a second. So well done, mate. Congratulations. That was a that was a well-timed sprint. You nailed that. But yeah, you know, I'll take second any day of the week. And G Cycling there fourth, James in fifth. Lock D was, yeah, he claimed third. Cooper in sixth. And Gino or J Eno in seventh. So yeah, there we go. So stage 5A and B. It was good. It wasn't too bad. It was probably better than I thought it'd be, actually. Heart rate still, yeah, taking that 3 weeks off. Even though I was, you know, cycling through it, it wasn't racing. And I noticed even in Tuesday night's ZRL race that yeah, I hit 184 heart rate. So you can see there, Luke. This is the results from the second race. Luke's picked up first there. Lochte in third. G Cycling fourth. James fifth. Lucas sixth. Andrew seventh. Patrick eighth. Peaky. 9 and Gary in 10th. So yeah, awesome result. That was a good race, and you can kind of see some of the power numbers there now. So I think I was sitting 3.3 watts per kilo for the 5-minute average. But yeah, lots of fun. So there we go. Good result. If I get a chance, I'm going to try definitely that stage 5A again. I think I can do better than that. I think I kind of I didn't time that strategy as well as I could have. But I think it's a good strategy. I think if anyone else gets a chance to try it, start your sprint maybe 800 meters and just trigger a bunch of other riders, and they'll panic and they'll go and they'll commit and they'll realize they've committed and they can't get out of it now, and then you sit in on them and, you know, try and use them to bring you to the finish, and then just pop them on the line. So yep, stage 5A B, third and second. You can see the averages there. So yeah, the average for the second race was 2.9. The average for the first one, I mean, it's only 4 kilometers, 3.6 watts per kilo. So yeah, interesting. I'm going to have a think about those numbers. I'm not entirely sure I understand them as well as I should. So 4-kilometer race. It wasn't a sprint, and it wasn't a crit. I'm not sure what it was. But yeah, fun nonetheless. So I hope you got a bit of something out of this. Let me know if you've done this race, how you went, what bike you chose, and thanks for watching. And I'll try and catch you in the next race.